Friends, welcome to another WIP and Chat on my channel, Caffeine Queen Crafts. Tonight is Tuesday. I just got back from spin, and we are working on the Eight of Swords by Moonshaped Monday from Diamond Art Studio UK. Let me get the original artwork up for you. Here it is. There she is. So nice. Yeah, so she is, this has been in my rainy day stash, basically since I started diamond painting. This was my first rainy day stash entry. Should have had that prepared. And then for a tray, I'm just using a Diamond Art Club tray. Mostly because it's one of my only trays that has a cover. It's smaller than I would normally like to use. But I'm gonna call, I said I was gonna come up with a code name for my daughter. We're gonna call her Holly, because that's the code name my D&D team uses for her. Anytime they wanna, my party or my DM wants to incorporate the baby into the adventure, we call the baby Holly. So we're gonna call her Holly. So Holly was up last night. I put her down probably around 7, but she was waking up every half hour, just screaming, so upset. And I'd go in and I'd comfort her and I'd get her to calm down. She'd go back to sleep, she'd wake up again every half hour, and we did that until midnight. So just in case I gotta go deal with the baby, we're gonna do the tray with the cover. So there's a cat here that I don't trust. Also, I've never used one of these trays before, so it'll be nice to see how they are. Yeah. All right. Normally, I prefer to use like a tray like this size, but what can you do? Decaf iced coffee, of course, because I am me. All right, and then in my pen, in my single placer, we're going to be using Abercrombie Fierce by Pure Bliss Wax Co. I've never used this one. I got this in just like a grab bag. Like, she's got a deal where you get like 3 cents, 3 random cents. I will put a link in the bio for that, if anyone is interested. And then in the multi-placer, we're going to use Lemon and Lavender Putty, also by Pure Bliss Wax Co. Most of my stuff is Pure Bliss Wax. I only started collecting wax and putties, scented wax and putties recently. And I saw what Katie had over on Diamonds and Washi, and I loved that, so I thought we'd give it a shot. And then my pen is by Shimmering Canvases, and the multi-placer and the single placer are both from them. I love the all-in-one multi-placer with, not multi-placer, sorry, single placer with that firmer big tip, because I don't know, I'm rough as a diamond painter. I need to work on picking up more gently, setting down more gently. I feel like my drills get stuck a lot in the pen because of how rough I am when I'm not paying attention. My dad's about to come home, so I'm gonna probably cut out this next part. He doesn't know that we're really filming. But yeah, it's by Shimmering Canvases. I got a 5-placer, a little rainbow from them, and then the all-in-one on the other end. And then my cover minder. We all crave a bit of sparkle. Also from Pure Bliss Wax Co. that I got with a mystery kit from her. Love a mystery. Are back. So he just wanted to talk when he got home. And now we are big diamond painting in peace. Okay. So, in terms of what I've been up to for diamond painting, I finished today, the Crafter's Den. See, this is what I mean. I push too hard and they get stuck. I finished the Crafter's Den Spring Mystery Kit from Jaded Gem Shop. That one, ooh, that kit was gorgeous and beautiful. I'm not going to say the name of it just yet because I know a lot of people are still working on it. And I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. Come on. Pick up lighter, Sarah. Pick up lighter. Light hands. There we go. See? It's because I pick up too hard. So yeah, I'm not going to say the name of the kit. Because a lot of people are still working on it. I will have it in my month in review with a spoiler thing around it. But I'm obsessed with that kit. And let me just say that if you are looking for a good kit from Jaded Gem Shop, once that one hits her regular store, I would pick it up because the way Jake did the specials on that kit, it's just insane. It's so good. That kit was a first for me. In many ways. It was my first actual kit from Jaded Gem Shop. I favorited so many things. I almost bought so many times. And then I did finally buy. I didn't actually, on my first order from her, I did not buy the Spring Mystery Kit. I bought what I'm going to do for summer with the Masters. And Gamer Girl. I'm blanking on the name of that artist. Medusa something, I believe. But I couldn't, but I hadn't started those yet. And then, you know, during the tariff nonsense, I wanted to support some small shops, so I decided to order from Jade's ready-made kits. And that included the mystery kit. And I was like, you know what, let's do a mystery kit. I've never done a mystery kit before. This will be fun. I'd also never done, finished a kit from Jade before, so I thought that would be fun too. And I'd also never done a kit by Chrisabug. I'm okay saying the artist because it was announced a while ago. That's not a spoiler. It's by Chrisabug. And if you want to go over to the Crafter's Den Discord, I will link that down below. I highly recommend it. It's fun. It's a good place to connect. It's a nice, chill community of crafters. And it's not just diamond painting. They have something for everyone. Books, Legos, pet pictures. Speaking of pets. Hi, Miso. Hi. Can you not in mommy's glue? Okay. You want to say hi? I know you do because you're a good little kitty. She's going back to her spot. Good. So that's where you belong. So, and then I spent some time de-kitting that because I wanted to free up my Elizabeth Ward containers that was in. And, I also, when I picked up that palm leaf that I was working on last week, I also picked up a little diamond drill storage binder for too much putty for your drills. Smells so good. From Make Market, and I wanted to see how it was, so I spent the day transferring my circle drills over to that container to to make sure that I like it. Which I do. I'll go into that in a separate video. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I'm going to do a post review on that palm leaf and the storage thing that it came with. All right. So I'm back to the Eight of Swords. I set her aside to do that mystery kit, but now we're back. Getting back in the groove of things. So I do, every diamond painting I do a little differently. And just sort of do my instincts. Most often I start on the bottom left. But this time with the Eight of Swords, I did start on the bottom left, but instead of just going across and then, you know, resetting like a typewriter, I decided to do all of the outer edges. And then I just keep going around like I'm in a spiral. So this is my second time through the canvas. And I think I felt like doing it this way because of this, you can just see it, this rope here, along the side. It was just speaking to me. And then the order in which I put down the drills varies from kit to kit as well. So on the mystery kit, I would start with the same color and I would end with the same color and everything, but then in between I kind of would do what felt right. And then on this kit, I'm doing the same order for everything. So I start with 310 and then I go on to 720 and so on and so forth. I started with, and it's based off of which drill there's the most of. So there's the most of 310. So I start with 310. Every section. And if a color is not in a section, I just skip it, obviously. I'm trying not to hit the tripod. I positioned this real badly. It's okay. We will power through together. I don't know if I like this tripod that I have right now. I might need to look into getting a different one. Okay. Yeah. So, that is what we are up to today. So, we're going to do 310. And then we'll move on to really messed that up. We'll move on to the second most common color. Wow, that is stuck. I'm going to try that again. Just hard reset on that. We're not having luck tonight. It's me. I'm being stupid. It's not the putty or the pen or the kit or anything like that. I'm just being really stupid. Really, if you want to know what it is, it's the tripod. It's how I set up the tripod. That is making this such a pain. Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna move it back. If you get seasick, look away. Okay. That's gonna have to do. Sorry if I'm bumping it. I'm trying. That's why I'm being so weird, is because I'm trying not to bump the tripod. I have not figured out a good position for the tripod yet. So I posted my first video a couple days ago. It took me longer to get it up. I'm going to record on Tuesdays. That's my plan, because I am a creature of habit. Once I build the routine, my light just changed because my hydroponic garden dimmed. That's okay. So I'm a creature of habit and routine. So I like to build the routine. We go to spin on Tuesdays. We do outings on Tuesdays. We're going to film our WIP and Chats on Tuesday nights after the baby goes to bed and after spin. But it took me longer to get that first video up because I was having a hard time figuring out iMovie. And I've used iMovie before. It wasn't that I didn't know how to use iMovie. It was that I couldn't get the file to export right. And at first I thought it was because it was too big. Like that I had made it too big. I've been talking for too long. Maybe I was going to have to do a different first video. But no, it turned out not to be that the file was too big. It turned out to be that I hadn't updated my OS system. So I needed to update my OS on my computer. I don't use an iPhone. I'm an Android girl. But then for a computer, I prefer a Mac, which I know is very contradictory, but I don't care. I like what I like. So that's that. Whole 17 people have watched it. Probably only half of them are me clicking to make sure that it really got up because I just had no faith that it would actually go up. Yeah. The downside to me doing kits like this, though, I feel like, is I'm going to find symbols that I missed, but what can you do? We're up in her hair. The storage system that I'm using also for this is sort of like a DIY one that I found also from Michael's. I like going to Michael's, in case you can't tell. It's a bead storage system that like stacks, and I thought it would be pretty good. But I don't think I really like it. I'm probably not going to use it again. I just sort of ad-libbed it. Not the biggest fan. So here's the 720. Second most common color throughout the whole thing. And not in this particular section. But it is what it is. And then after this we have 741. Which it does not look like there is any 741 in this. So we're going to skip over to another little stack of drills. No, I don't think I'm going to be using this storage system again. I was experimenting with different storage systems for a while, but I did my first with Elizabeth Ward, and I will probably stick to it, except for unless it's like a snack size kit. And then I'll kit up into like my little one-on-ones. I don't want to have like to keep, you know, kitting up like a thing that only has like two colors, but like, you know, less than 15 colors into an Elizabeth Ward, because that's just ridiculous. Or like, you know, like I got one of the Cinderella Sparkle Pals from Diamond Art Club because Holly loves Cinderella. She loves it. And I thought it would be cute because I'm getting a little bookshelf set up for all her books. And I thought it'd be sweet if she had a little Cinderella on the bookshelf. Yeah. Really just cute. I did miss this kit. I love this kit. We're in, this is her hair. You can't tell. It's her hair. It goes whoosh. Yeah. It's like we're in the top corner, top left corner. I've got it upside down right now so that it's easier for me to get to. And that's why the symbols might look weird. But it is what it is. Oh, come on. Lighter hand, Sarah. Lighter hand. That's really stuck. I have to take it off. Light touch. This is what I mean. I like push down too hard when I pick them up and then they don't want to come off. It's completely me. It's not the wax. It's not the pen. It's me. I am the type of diamond painter that likes confetti. I just do. So, that's what's up with diamond painting. I'm going to try to post my plan is tomorrow I'm going to film, see again, I did it again, light touch. Tomorrow I'm going to post the, not tomorrow, I'm going to try to post this tomorrow, and then I'm going to try to film the post review on that palm leaf, because I did finish the palm leaf actually after I got off camera. I just zipped right through it. It was a pretty quick one. Very quick little snack size kit. And so we're going to try to film that tomorrow, maybe get it up by Friday, because that's going to be a bigger editing project, I feel like. And again, I have no affiliate codes or anything like that. I'm just existing here in this world. This is what I'm doing with my time. And I'm hoping to finish this before summer with the masters. We'll see. Did I get it all? I think I got it all. Decaf iced coffee. Okay. And then I'm not hearing the baby, and at this point I think she's down, so I'm gonna switch to that bigger tray that I prefer. It does not come with the fancy cover, and maybe I'm tempting fate, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Okay, next up we have 817. Maybe also Holly stole my trash thing. She likes to use it as a rattle. She likes to use these as a rattle too, which is partially why I think I'm never going to use them again. And I don't mind if she steals my trash to use as a rattle. She likes to shake it because of the noise. I don't mind if she uses my trash as a rattle, because if she uses the trash as a rattle and it spills, that's not the end of the world. That's just a mess. But if she uses one of these as a rattle and it spills, and I get where she's coming from, like, that is satisfying. I get that. But if one of these spills, one of these little containers with non-trash drills spills, that's a big problem. Okay, there's a lot of 817 in this one. So, which makes sense because it's her hair color. So we're going to get the multiplacer going. Oh. All right, so that's what I've been up to in diamond painting land. Normally we do an excursion on Tuesdays in terms of, let's talk about life. We'll talk about life next. And normally we do an excursion on Tuesdays, but we did not do an excursion today because her daycare asked me if I could shift days just for this week, and I said sure, because summer break has been starting. It's not started at every district I work at, but my busy period has passed. So for those of you who don't know, substitute teaching has a busy period where everyone's using days, and that tends to be like in the last 6 weeks of school. And it tapers off, like, during the last week. And almost every district I sub at, not almost every district I sub at is either out or in their last week. And you stop getting as many sub requests in the last week. And by as many, I mean none. You get none. And the reason for it getting busy in the last, like, 6 weeks of school, really 8 weeks even, is so if you're not coming, if the school doesn't want you to come back, they have to tell you in March for union reasons. It kind of is not great for some reasons because, like, you know, they basically let you go in March, but then you have to stick around to finish out the school year. So, you know, they let you go and then you have to keep working for them for 8 more weeks. But the way teachers' time off works is that it rolls over. So, like, you know, at one of the districts I worked at, you got like 10 days a year. It's hypothetical. I think it was more. The exact numbers escaping me because as I'm saying that, I'm like, 10 is low. Come on, Sarah. 10 is low. But no, it wasn't 10. Let's just say it was, let's say it was 15. I don't know if it was, but let's say it was. So if you had 15 days and you only used 5 of them in a school year for like personal time or sick time or whatever, those days would roll over to the next year. So then the next year you were at that same school, you would get, if you said 15, we used 5, you'd have 25 days. So you could bank your days. And people would save them up to give themselves like, because teachers don't necessarily get paid maternity leave in America, which is awful, but it is what it is. And so teachers often save them up for like maternity leaves, or if you save up enough, you can retire early. Like if you save up, I've known some teachers that are working towards that have been like not using days for years and just rolling them over and like are going to use them to retire like at 63 or 64 instead of 65. So that is how it works. However, this is the big however, your days don't follow you from district to district. And that's where you get into why subs have a busy period that starts about in March through, like, because if you know you're going to be switching schools, like if you have an inkling you're not going to come back to that district, or if they've already told you that they don't want you back, that it's called non-renewing you, you use your days. Everyone just uses their days. Because if you don't use them, they're gone. So that is why subs have a busy period that tends to start in March and go through basically like right before, like the week before school stops, because at that point everyone's usually used their days. But so you kind of can tell, like there were names that kept popping up on the subsystem list when I would check, and I would see that name like every other week, and I would be like, oh, that person's not coming back to this school. They've either been non-renewed or they just don't like it and they're not coming back, you know. But, so my busy period has ended. So I'm going to have my summer now, which is good. So I can focus on the channel. I did interview for a job. I don't want to talk about it just yet because I don't want to really say too much, but it's at a school. I have some friends that work there, and if I get it, great, and if I don't get it, also great. I'll sub longer because I really don't mind subbing. You know, there's more flexibility to it. There's pros and cons with everything. Obviously, you'd make more probably having a regular teaching gig, but you don't have as much flexibility. And frankly, everyone's always really nice to subs. Because people are just, like, happy to see you. Because if you weren't there, it would cause problems. Especially in this day and age when there's a sub shortage. So, people are just nice to you when you sub. Which is great. My back. I did go to spin tonight. Since my daycare asked to shift days around. So we're going to do our outing on Friday probably. I don't know where yet. But since they asked to shift days around, I did not burn myself out at like the zoo or the botanical garden or something like that. I had to go get my exercise in. It was good. It was a good class. I love spin. Sometimes it can be interesting being a plus size person in a like super intensive exercise class. Like I had someone say to me, and they were new, and I've been spinning for about a year now. At the time, it had been about, I don't know, maybe 6 months. And it was a new person, and they said to me after the class, they were like, I kept saying I was going to stop and sit down when you stopped and sat down, but you didn't ever once stop and sit down. You like kept going the whole time and following along and doing all the things. And I was just really impressed. And I thought to myself, why did you pick me? You picked me because I am plus size, because I'm in a larger body. And you assumed that meant I was out of shape. Never mind the fact that I've been doing this twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, for almost 6 months now. Yeah. I've been working on doing this thing where I try to not make exercise like about weight loss, just about getting healthy and, you know, doing all these things to take care of myself, because I had a very medically complicated pregnancy and I couldn't move as much as I wanted to. And I've been trying to enjoy it since, you know, I had the baby. I really love, I think it's called checkerboarding when you do this, like, love that. I'm not I don't love color blocking. I don't mind multi-placing. And like this level of color blocking in the hair, that's fine with me, but I prefer some confetti. Large sections of color blocking drive me nuts. I think that might be why I was like, I wanted to do this outer section here, because this is all, like after this rope here, it's all 310. And that was too much color blocking for me. And so that might have been why my brain was drawn to like doing the outer sections first, because I wanted to get the color blocking out of the way. That's been a strategy of mine since I was a kid. Oh, there's something into this that you don't like? Well, let's do it first and get it out of the way, and then we can just enjoy. I like placing them on the diagonal. I always think that looks really good. And I've seen tips that you know, helps you with square draws get straighter. It always sounds super intense when I say I like confetti. I like square drills and I like confetti, which I know is a lot of people's worst nightmare, but oh, everyone has their own preference. Although it does stress me out, is doing what I think of in my head is like free placing, like that drill that I just put down right there. I don't like doing that because there's no reference point to make sure I get it straight. You know, personal preference and whatnot. I'm getting kicked by a cat right now. She's in her little chair next to me napping. She's dreaming and kicking me, which is always sweet. So the other thing we've been doing a lot of lately is I've been setting up, I got this like $5 sensory table from Target. That is like the perfect size for the baby. And I've been pulling out my old special ed, you know, knowledge to like make these little concoctions for her to just play in. And she loves it. The biggest hit is, I call it like, that's some trash right there. I call it oblique water. What it really is you just put a quarter cup of cornstarch at the bottom of the sensory table, some blue food coloring, and then you fill it with water. And the cornstarch just sort of makes it so that the water is not translucent. It's hard to see. Opaque. That's the word, not oblique, opaque. Opaque water. So that, like, you know, you stick your hand in and it disappears. And she thinks that is just the funniest thing in the entire world. She loves sticking her hand in it and just laughing. You get her that. She has to only use it outside. Like on the balcony where there's a bench you can sit, or like in the bathtub. Because she will just splash. She will play with it until all of the water has spilled out of that thing. I kid you not. It's so sweet to see. And on the other side, I've been putting oobleck. She doesn't like the oobleck. I like the oobleck, though. So for those of you that don't know, oobleck is 2 cups cornstarch to like half a cup water, maybe like 3/4 of a cup, depending on how thick you want it. I believe they call it a Newtonian substance. So like when you squish it like this, it gets like solid, but then when you let it go, it kind of becomes more like liquid and water, and it just runs out of your hand. She doesn't care about the oobleck, but I love the oobleck. 823 is next. 823. But I feel like I should, you know, there's two sides to the sensory table. I've been doing the opaque water and the oobleck, but she doesn't really like the oobleck. And since it is for her and not me, I should probably try something else. I have a recipe for like whipped bubbles that involves mostly bubble bath and water. The exact ratio is escaping me. And again, you put some food coloring in it to make it a fun color. And that's usually a hit with kids, so I'll do that, and that'll work well because she's afraid of the bath right now. Actually get that child to come in contact with soap. Thank God it's summer, because I just, you know, now I'm just running her to the pool every couple of days that she'll get wet and get gunk off of her, because I've been trying not to re-traumatize her. I wipe her down with baby wipes at the end of the day to try to not re-traumatize her. Because if you put that child in like the bathtub, in the sink, in the shower, in the other bathtub, I've tried everything, she just screams. She does not like it. She freaks her out for some reason. So I've been trying to not, you know, make it worse and re-traumatize her. That's what the pediatrician recommended too. But the sensory table's actually, you know, if I can get her to play with some bubble bath, get some soap on her, that'd be nice. And in the meantime, we're like trying different things. I tried getting in with her, she still didn't like it. Tried filling the tub up before she came in, tried putting bubble bath in to like make it more fun. No dice. Next, this week, I think, I try to only try something new like once a week so that we're not like pushing her too hard. But I'm gonna try like putting her in a swim diaper and putting her in the bathtub and seeing if that helps. Like if, you know, being in, and then obviously like putting her in her swimsuit, I won't be able to wash her whole body, but at least I'd be able to wash her hair. That's some trash. See if that makes a difference. If you have any tips and tricks, like if there are any moms out there listening or watching who have had a little one scared of the bathtub, let me know what you did. Oh, I've just been ad-libbing it. I think though that's actually what parents do. A lot of it seems like it's just parents ad-libbing. Teachers too, but we don't tell kids that. Shh. They don't need to know. You know, that none of us actually know what we're doing. Just lame. Lame. Oh. So I think together. All right, I think, so in terms of what I've been reading, I'm still reading the Pyramid Scheme book. Little Bosses Everywhere, and I'm really liking it. It's written very well. The history of it, the breakdown. I like history, though. I'm a history nerd. And then I'm still listening to, or, you know, The Way of Kings, the first book in the Stormlight Archive. Because my plan was I was going to listen to it and then start, so that once I finish Little Bosses Everywhere, I can start the Words of Radiance, I think is the second one. I can start the second book, basically. However, I did not realize, I should have, considering how long that book was. The audiobook is 45 hours long. And I think I'm going to finish Little Bosses Everywhere before I finish that audiobook. So what we're going to do is I think a lot. I should not say that as much. I should also be kinder to myself. I am only a human being. But I'm going to try to read my book club book for June then, before I start the Words of Radiance. Because, yeah. The book club book this month is The Neverlist. And I got my copy from a local bookstore. And they special ordered it. And whenever they special order books from this bookstore, sometimes they come back and, like, they're normal books. And sometimes they come back and they're, like, gorgeous. And this one came back and it's, like, gorgeous. And I'm really excited about it. I have no idea what it's about, but I'm excited about it. So I'll read The Neverlist before I start on Words of Radiance, just so that I'm caught up on all the book club things. And then I'll pause it at the end of the month, because it's going to take me longer than June to finish that book. The first book was like 1,400 pages, and the second one's even longer. There's a 310 arrow right there. Gosh darn it, I hate that. That is an advantage, though, to the storage system, is you can just go in and pluck one. Crooked. It's okay. Fixed it. Yeah. Hopefully it's better than the last book club book. I know I already talked about the last book club book. But oh my god, did I hate that book so much. There have been a few book club. I don't know. I feel like part of what we do at book club is we just pick books that we hate. Like, or that we know we're going to hate. You know, there's been very few books that everyone has just collectively loved. There was one time where everyone really hated the book, and I absolutely loved it. It was The Kingmakers by Sophie Lark, which I highly recommend because it's like if the cast of One Tree Hill, like if all the characters from One Tree Hill went to Hogwarts for the Mafia. And I'm totally on board with that. Like, I like that. I would read that. But everyone else really, really hated it. And I was like, what y'all talking about? I already bought all the sequels and I'm going to read the whole thing. So, you know, I feel like that's just part of, like, the joy of this book club is we pick, you know, books that are explicit in nature, and we talk about them and how much we don't like them. But there have been a few books that we've all really loved. The book we started with that I really loved was Butcher and Blackbird. I'm blanking on the name. I can link it down below. That one I highly recommend. And then there's the other book that everyone loved was Lights Out by Navessa Allen. I don't think I'm saying that right, and I think I'm getting the name wrong. I will also link that down below. And again, I don't really have an affiliate system set up yet, so this is just me giving you recommendations. I should set up an affiliate system, especially if I'm going to recommend books. But that one I loved a lot. I think that one was actually my favorite. It was about, you know, these people. One of them was the son of a serial unaliver. Butcher and Blackbird, good. Lights Out, good. Those were ones that we all collectively loved. I have read the sequel. So there's 3 books out in the Butcher and Blackbird series. It's called the Ruinous Love Trilogy, I believe.